Good morning, Living Hope. Good to see everybody here today. And also those that are joining us online, welcome you here to the house of the Lord. I have a couple of announcements that I wanted to bring to your attention. We have Kingdom Men's Breakfast will be on Saturday, September 14th at Second Church. I mentioned that last week. It usually is here, but this time it'll be over at Second Church, and please note the change of that. Also on Sunday the 15th, we're going to have the pastor elections, and that's next week, isn't it? I think it is. I had announced that Bob Dixon was one that was going to be voted on, and he withdrew his name, and so you're back just with me. So if there's anybody that has anybody that they want to nominate, let's go ahead and we'll probably need to take care of that today sometime if you want to give me a call or anything like that. Friday on September 20th and 22nd, the priesthood are gathering to Kirtland. Please register online if you haven't already done so on that. Also, if you're unable to attend the Kirtland trip, all are welcome to attend a testimony and prayer service for Unity on Friday, September 20th, from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, as well as Saturday, the 21st, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Becky Staten wants to thank you for all of your prayers for and cards in the last few weeks that she has been in the hospital. So Becky wants to thank you all for that. Also, priesthood meeting for priesthood is this coming Thursday. Normally it would be the Thursday after the third Thursday, but with being so close to the Kirtland trip, I thought it would be advantageous if we have that this coming Thursday at 7 o'clock here at the church. Also, it went out yesterday that Don Peterson's sister is coming back from Ohio to live with Don and Pete. Her name's Candy. And this coming Tuesday at 9 o'clock, she needs help with moving Candy into their house. Anybody that can do that would be great. Prayer walk is this Saturday, 9/14 at 9 a.m. Come help with us pray for the part of the city, and schools is what the focus is on that prayer walk, is for our city and schools. Also, the day of prayer sign-up sheet is in the back. Is Saturday on the 28th of this month. So if you could sign up for that. Let's see. Let's go ahead. Rich has a announcement that he wanted to bring to your guys' attentions. I talked to him yesterday about this, and if you're 62 and older, this applies to you. And I think it's a good opportunity for us to share.
So we'll call this a public service announcement. Basically, my wife's had one of her coworkers back in the spring call her attention to a program that's available through Jackson County and is basically founded by the state law. And what it involves is freezing your property taxes at the current level. So freezing has a definition, but I wanted to explain a little bit about this program. As you can see, everybody's probably familiar with the scripture about rendering unto Caesar what is due, but nowhere does it say we need to pay more than what's due. This program is called the Jackson County Senior Property Tax Credit Program. That will make sense in just a second. So the purpose of the program is to allow those taxpayers that are 62 years of age or older to receive a credit that offsets any increase in your property taxes over the years. And it's called a freeze because it's basically keeping it where it is today if you were to opt into this program. There are some criteria for you to be eligible to do this. One is you have to be a Jackson County resident. Now, if you're not a Jackson County resident, but you live in Missouri, chances are your county has the very same program available. You'll just have to go through your county to figure that out. You have to be 62 years of age or older. You have to be a property owner because it's affecting your property taxes. If you're not actually on the title of your property, but you have a legal interest, you would have to be able to prove that legal interest. You have to be the one liable for the payment of your property taxes. Chances are, if you're the property owner, you're the one liable. And that you have to occupy the property that's in question as your primary residence. If you happen to have a different home in Jackson County, but you're not using it as a primary residence, that one would not apply to this program. So when does this tax credit take effect? My research showed that this program was available last year as well, but it just hasn't been told to the public. We were lucky, my wife and I, to hear about it through one of her coworkers, and we got a flyer in the spring about that program, and I went online yesterday and updated because they have made changes to the flyer. But basically, if you were to opt in now, it would freeze your 2024 property tax, your liability, and if property taxes would go up over the years, you would get a tax credit for that difference. One question that has come up in their questions that they answer, well, what if I sell my house and I buy a different one? Well, if all that happens in Jackson County, your old property is no longer frozen. You have to start a new process on your new property. It's just the way it is. You don't get to grandfather in some kind of old rate, which is what I'm saying there. Whenever you pay your property taxes, there's a parcel number on your bill. And so the question has come up, do I need that parcel number to apply for this? Technically you do not, but they make it very clear that it's quicker for them to process if you do. Why not just take a second to do it? It's not mandatory. If you want to find your parcel number, you can go to jacksongov.org and you'll see an option for research tax account, and then you'll just search for your property online. You can search on it by the name or the address. You have to be pretty specific, same spelling of the name, same spelling of the address. So everything I can find, the term freeze is just a term that allows you to kind of understand what's happening. It doesn't actually freeze your taxes. So what is happening, from everything I can find, is that when you do your income tax returns, you will get a credit if there was an increase in your property tax and you were frozen at the lower amount. So for example, if your 2025, next year's property tax, say was $2,200, and you had frozen it this year and your property tax this year was $2,000, you would have a tax credit on your income tax return of $200. And this initially came out in Jackson County that every year you would have to renew this program. You'd have to send in your Form New saying, yes, everything's there. Last July, they came out with the updated information, and that's no longer necessary to renew, but the Jackson County does reserve the right to audit and request information from you if you want to continue in the program. Big question for me, especially because of what happened in Jackson County with our property taxes last year going up so much, in my case 50%. Well, what happens if I'm in this program and then Jackson County adjusts things downwards? There's a likelihood that could happen because they've actually increased it more than the 10% allowable by state law. That's still a big thing in the courts right now. We'll see how that plays out. But I was concerned, well, if I opt into this program and then my taxes go down, am I stuck at the higher rate? And if you go on to Jackson County's website that explains all this, it doesn't ever give you an answer. And they have links to a couple of bills that supports this program, but not to the bill that answers the question. I found online a Kansas City Star article that does reference how that question is answered, and it's Senate Bill number 756. You can look it up for yourself if you want to. And specifically, it's saying that if your taxes are decreased, that becomes your new base year. This is the wording in the tax law for this case. So there's no reason to be nervous about doing this, because it doesn't have to be just related to this course case. You know, if it goes up and then it goes down, whatever is going to be the lowest amount from the time you first apply is what your base is going to be. So how do you take advantage of the program if you're 62 and over, a Jackson County property owner? This website is the specific website you go to. Don't worry about writing it down. I've got information for you. Basically, you can go to the Living Hope website. I'll go to that right now. I think it'll show if I did this right. No, it's probably not going to. That's okay. You can go to the Living Hope website, and on the home page, underneath the image that's scrolling across the top, you'll see links to this Jackson County website, and then you'll also see a link that's to the printout that's pretty much reiterating everything I said in this presentation. I added to their printout the actual website you go to, and there's a QR code if you wanted to use your phone to look at it. It's basically real simple to do. The hardest part for me was finding my parcel number because I didn't have that memorized or something silly. But the rest of it's just real simple information. You're answering questions. You're going to provide proof of Jackson County residency, which can be a driver's license. You're going to provide proof of age, which is something that has your birth date on it, driver's license again, and you're done. It's really very easy to do. They have a form that you can print out and hand write the information. They also have a link online to fill it out in a form format on the website. So this is something I would encourage anybody to do. There's not a lot of people here today, and so if you know someone that's not here, you might redirect them to the website and say, hey, check this out. If you know people in other churches, same idea. This is just something that I don't know how we would have known about it without being told by a friend, and I hope as your friends you accept that in the same manner. Bonnie. Just yell it out, I'll repeat it. Yeah, there's no one's on the mics right now.
Okay, well, I have some more information about this, only it is about a refund to people who had their property taxes raised. I thought it was 15% or more, but there's a man called Preston Smith, and he was involved in the lawsuit against the legislature and all about doing this, and they won the lawsuit. So, people who have had their property taxes raised quite a bit last year, they can submit a form and get a refund. And he's willing to talk to us about it.
What's his name again?
His name is Preston Smith.
Okay, is he an attorney or?
He's a tax and statistician that worked for the county and
Okay, what,
places, but what I was gonna say is he's coming to Apple Tree condos where we live to speak to the seniors there, which is a lot.
okay,
And he's willing to come and explain and also help you fill out the form.
okay, so she's got information on a adjacent issue where we're talking about freezing your property tax rates. She has a contact named Preston Smith, who's a tax advocate that is aware of how to process to get a refund on your taxes if you had to pay more than a 15% increase, is the amount Bonnie thinks that was in this particular law. Yes, sir. Yeah, and that's exactly when we found out about it. And, okay, we got a mic if there's any other questions now. He was saying that it was in the news in March. So if you happen to catch that particular newscast, you were in business. If you understood it, you were in business. And since March, if you did look at that back then, there has been a couple of changes. Initially, if your property was worth $550,000 or more, you were ineligible for this program. They've dropped that limitation. Initially, you had to renew every year. Now you don't have to. They've dropped that limitation. So this isn't just a friend talking to a friend and saying, hey, we ought to try this. This is actually on Jackson County's website. It's documented. I'll leave this handout and back on the table. I know as much as I've told you today. I've done it, actually submitted mine last night, and I just thought this was real important to bring out to everybody because as years go by, this could really be a significant savings. Was there any other questions? All right, turn it back to Larry. You bet.
Thank you, Rich. When he called me yesterday, I thought that was appropriate to bring forth to you guys. We got fixed incomes, anything like that we can take advantage of is great. Also, this is recorded, so if you need to listen to it again, it's on YouTube. And I think we can get to it through the website also. So if you have any questions on that, we'll continue to do it. If there's any questions, get with Rich and with Bonnie on that other issue. Also, next week, along with pastor elections, I failed to mention that we have the parking lot issue that we're going to vote on next week also. There's three options. There's a cheaper option that we discussed, a more expensive that is more entailed, and then there is no parking lot at all. So if we want to put it off, those are the options that we'll be talking about next week. As Jeff mentioned, we have birthdays today. We have Zelda. You had your birthday yesterday. Yeah. Oh, no. No, I didn't already announce it. So I can do it. Okay. Let's see. So Zelda, we have Michael Sperry is today. Bernetta Bird is Monday. Wednesday, Julie Bettler. Thursday, Sarah Cornish and Evelyn Campbell. And on Saturday, Vaughn Cornish. Did I miss anybody that has a birthday close? Let's wait on the birthday singing because I have another announcement here and we'll close on the singing. Restoration Christmas Choir, blending of voices for all branches. You're invited to join the Restoration Christmas Choir. And let's see here. Rehearsals are Sundays, which would be next Sunday would be the first practice from 4:30 in the afternoon to 6 p.m. at Atherton Restoration branch. So yes, the rehearsals begin next Sunday. And if you have any questions, just get with me afterwards. You guys ready? Happy birthday to you.